FHA approved.
As opposed to the whole complex.
As opposed to the whole complex.
Okay.
That spot approval process has been noticed by HUD that there's major problems. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, sorry.
No problem, hey. But they've noticed major problems with this. Some lenders out there are just approving everything and everybody, and then HUD sees this and goes, well, we wouldn't even approve this if we saw this ahead of time. So a lot of the big banks are shelving those loans until they get their act together as well. But
what does it take to get the whole complex approved?
I've got a 14-item checklist. It requires an attorney opinion letter. It's going back to the builder, getting the plans and the specs and the flood certs, and just like getting originating a building approved. Hopefully they're going to amend that process because it's going to be ridiculous and really costly. That's why everyone's getting excited about doing 2 and 3 unit condos, but at the end of the day, it may cost $2,000 or $3,000 just to get that place FHA approved, and it may not make sense. And you can only do one in that complex.
And that payment is made by the first borrower,
Made by the
first buyer in that.
Perhaps the seller.
Okay, but I mean, but say existing units.
Right, would be made by the
So
seller.
the seller might make it just to get.
Right, there's no other buyers out there, only FHA. I'm going to pony up the funds and make sure I will get this place FHA approved.
But that's when that's only in a multifamily situation. Single family, you're not going to have.
Single
It's
family,
not
no
an issue.
problem. Site condo, not an issue.
Right.
REO, HUD home, not an issue.
Gotcha. Okay.
But you said they were going to treat the 2 on lots?
Yes,
like
that
single families.
are not attached.
But they're going to treat them like single families, not like this whole
Right.
17
They're going to be
checklist,
called
go to the builder and
they're
all
going to be
that.
a site. They're going to be treated as site condos and treated as single family residences, which I think is a huge benefit.
Would they both be able to get FHA loans on
No,
them?
they won't
Or
be allowed
one of
one.
them has an FHA, then the other one won't?
It'd still be in a condo project, so you still have that rule. You can't have both loans FHA. You'll only be able to have one, or up to 30% in that complex FHA loans. But major changes, and I think as October 1 hits, you're going to see a scrambling for spot approvals, and we have to really do a thorough analysis. And I want to send you the key questions to ask about your condo. I've noticed a lot of problems when I'm doing these FHA loans. I get my buyer, we're all excited to get accepted offer. I call up the agent representing the seller. I don't even know the management company. They tell me it's good, but there are also some really sharp realtors that 40 grand in reserves, owner occupancy's there. You have to maybe ask just a couple of key questions, and that way you know that you have a chance of doing an FHA loan in that complex.
How much? What do the reserves need to be?
The rule is 60% of the yearly budget.
Okay.
And if it's 58%, then that's the rule. As long as the other aspects of the complex are really strong, that the repairs are really been done well and done the right way, and there's no anticipated major repair in the minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're right at 60%, you should be okay. I had one in Marina Del Rey where they were doing a major renovation, but they clearly spelled it out, did it the right way. They had special assessments 6 months ago, and they have enough funds to cover even after a major repair, so I'm able to overcome it. But it was a conversation with more documentation. It's no longer here's the paperwork and you're done. It's really kind of looking through all the condominium documents and making sure it's strong financially.
That's probably going to be a problem with all these 2 and lots and 3 and lots, because most of them have 0 reserves. A lot of them don't even have an active HOA collecting dues.
But if they don't have a budget, it's 60% of the budget they don't have.
Well, that's the problem. Is they don't have a budget, they don't have any money, period.
That's why this
like
is
it.
done, because they don't have to have any
They
money.
have 100%
The
reserves.
difference is the site condo. The one it's detached, we don't have to worry about all those condominium issues.
Okay.
But the only requirement is you can't have both of those 2 and a lots.
Okay, so that's separate from what Don just said, right? We're talking, okay.
Listen to,
Unless he was talking about only attached.
No, but yes, he's talking about attached 2 and a lots.
No, I'm talking about
He's talking
detached. Detached 2 and lots.
No longer worried about
Doesn't matter.
condominiums.
You're not
Now it's
worried about
treated like single
reserves in
family.
Not
the
worried about
HOA, the
anything.
condo.
It's treated just like a single family.
Okay.
The only requirement is that you can't have both of those 2 and a lots FHA loans.
Right, so you need to find out who the front neighbor or whatever, they're the ones
Is that effective now or October 1st?
October 1, I'm going to order a case number October 1.
And it's really just the condo-related rules that changed October 1.
Yes. All the other FHA guidelines are staying the same. But go ahead.
Listen to the scenario play. This could be a very realistic scenario after October 1st. The majority, most of the first-time buyers that buy around here have to buy a condo because of the price ranges, and FHA has been able to facilitate that. Okay, spot approvals or let's take a buyer buying in Brookside. All right, Brookside right now is FHA approved. You don't need to get a lot of information on the project. You already know it's approved. First-time buyer can buy there 3.5% down. After October 1st, the project needs to be recertified. And who's going to go ahead and do that?
That was
First
my
buyer.
question.
The first seller.
First seller.
seller.
First seller or the first buyer.
First seller.
Unless you get the HOA involved and do it.
So then you got this issue. You get time. You got paperwork. You got money expenditure, and the first-time buyer, who all this is supposed to be trying to help and
Bonus,
revitalize
yeah.
our housing market, could have
Stimulate.
serious problems because the property type that they're looking to buy is a condo, and these rules have changed so dramatically that it's going to be a real shift, guys. Yeah, it's going to be a real shift. It's going to be interesting the way this plays out, and hopefully, between now and October 1st, FHA is going to come to some sense that we have to realization that we have to do something a little bit different. On the other hand, you have to realize that when your client, more than ever, your clients that are buying a condo are depending upon their neighbors. You're kind of like all this family. If you don't all pitch in, everybody suffers. And FHA and every lender's finding this out. I don't know what the percentages are, but I would say that of the foreclosures that are going on in the United States, I'd say a very large percentage are condos, because other people haven't done what they were supposed to do. They left the property, they don't pay their dues, and you're suffering, and you're sitting there saying, well, the property's gone to crap, I've got no equity, I'm just going to take off too. So when you, in these shared living situations where you have people that have to pay in to take care of things, we haven't seen a lot of problems with in our kind of 3-unit buildings, and actually we've been very blessed because most of the kind of projects around here seem to still be managed very well. But you get out of this area and it becomes a major, major problem. And that's why FHA, if you're FHA and anybody lending, you can buy a house with 3.5% down, you're getting into a condo project, and the condo project doesn't have sufficient reserves, like what if you needed to patch the roof or repair the sprinklers or something, and there's no money in the reserves, and then the property starts to deteriorate, and you start thinking, well, I put 3.5% down.
Or there's a special assessment of $5,000.
Right.
Right when you move in, and would be devastating for a first-time buyer.
Right.
And that's why you can see why FHA is saying, wait a minute, we need to really crack down on these condos to get them up to snuff. And it's probably going to be a year correction period. I think this is personally just a way to get these condo associations to really take a hard look at how they're doing business and really do it the right way. There's going to be major price pressure downward on condos with this new process and new procedure in place, because it's going to slow it down. It's going to be less appealing. It's going to really devastate certain condo projects if they. Hopefully, HUD will realize that and say, "Wait a minute, this is not what we're intended to do." We didn't, and so hopefully they will make those adjustments. But I think there's going to be a 3-month after October. I think until the end of the year, there's going to be a correction period, a period of transition that hopefully for the better. But I think focusing on the good part of the changes, I think is going to be a good thing. This site condo thing is going to be huge, and a 50% owner occupancy is going to be huge, as opposed to 51%.
51, that's good.
It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a major,
It's a
major
lot.
change. Do you have another slide?
Yeah, just hit your backspace because it's the presentation you sent us, but whatever they did with your backspace.
Oh, here we go.
There you go. It goes quickly. That's why Andy had problems yesterday trying to maintain the slide that you wanted. It's on a timer and he couldn't adjust it. So that's why you may have to go back and forth, but you
I
can
got
arrow
you.
back.
I think you sort of hit on everything though.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned pretty much everything.
The thing, buyer must be pre-approved by direct lender. So are you considered a direct lender?
Yes,
Yes.
we are a direct lender. We doc fund, underwrite everything.
Because you're a mortgage banker.
Yes,
Yes.
and
Okay.
we'll do the loan first, and then we sell it to the investor.
Yeah, I've had that come up on some of our deals, and I've actually had it directed to our website, certified as a direct lender,
Okay.
because anyway.
And it makes all the difference.
Maybe you should add that to some of the
Your experience
pre-qual
with
letters.
platinum and
It makes all the difference. I mean, people
Yeah.
that think that the big banks are
The only direct lenders.
their